How do you plan to feed your family in the apocalypse? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. We think about these things as preppers, right? Maybe not the apocalypse, but stuff hitting the fan. Events that happen. Natural disasters. Losing your job. Getting injured. Losing a loved one. There's a lot of different things. Financial collapse, EMP, wars, calamities, chaos, all these things. So how do you plan on feeding your family? And is it sustainable? Sustainable is very important to me. Growing your own food, raising your own animals, collecting your own rainwater, identifying sources of water to replenish your supplies, stockpile food, water, all the prepper stuff. Yes, food storage. I just use the general term food storage when I refer to all my preps. But remember that all that stuff is your emergency fund. That is your backup plan. Your primary plan should be this kind of stuff. Growing your own vegetables and fruits, raising your own animals, combined with hunting, fishing, trapping, snaring, foraging, all those things. And if you have to, dipping into your food storage, your emergency fund. But if we mitigate use of our emergency fund as much as possible, then it will be there when we have a real emergency. And it'll still give us that peace of mind, even if we're in a big event. Total collapse, societal collapse. No food trucks, no grocery stores, no medical facilities, no rule of law, anything like that. Big situation is you have to be able to replenish your stockpiles. No matter how much you have, it is a much better plan, a sustainable plan, to be growing your own food, raising your own animals. Still stockpile food, yes. That's how we're going to feed our families and take care of ourselves in the apocalypse. But change, I guess, modify your mindset. I talk about this all the time, there's a prepper community, the homesteading community. I think they need to come together, and I say that all the time. Preppers need to be more homesteady, and homesteaders need to make sure that they're still preppers. They still have food storage. Because what you're doing on your homestead, farm, whatever it may be, growing food, raising animals, all these things, it's great. But you still got to have a food store. You still got to have food storage. That's like having a great job. Okay, you have a really high-paying, good job. All right, well, it's paying all the bills and stuff like that right now. But you still got to have an emergency fund, right? Just in case your car breaks down, your whatever happens. Because like Dave Ramsey says, if you have an emergency plan or emergency fund, you never have an emergency, which is true. That's because you have the money to pay for it. Just like you have the food to eat. Thus, it doesn't become an emergency in your mind because you're just good to go. You'd be like, oh, this happened? Okay. Take this money, take this food, take care of it. Then build it back up. You got to be able to replenish that emergency fund so that it's always there. Even if it's slowly diminishing, if you can mitigate and lessen the effects of that, the better off you'll be. The better off and the longer your food storage will last. One note thing you see like I go into Costco, Walmart, wherever, grocery stores, and you see these emergency food buckets. 124 servings. I saw this one at Costco the other day. Okay, it's 124 serving bucket. I forget the brand. And then another brand had a 28 serving box. The box and the bucket were the same size. I'm like, how can you get 28 servings in one size, the same size containers? You can get 124 servings. And then I was looking at the servings. A lot of the servings in the bucket for like 100 calories. Well, that may be a serving of that stuff, but it's not a meal. You got to think about how your caloric needs for a day. Whatever your caloric needs for a day are now, at least add 50% for when SHTF happens, when a big calamity, whatever, chaos happens. Because you're going to be working harder. You're going to be doing more. You're going to be more active. So you're going to be burning more calories. It will take more. What I say, rule of thumb, is at least double it for the worker bees, the people that are going to be out doing all the hard things, like me. My wife, having lupus, obviously is not going to be out hauling everything around doing all the work. Sometimes she can't even get out of bed. It is what it is. My 13-year-old son, he would need just as many calories as me because he'll be out here working with me. Take that into account. But what I like to do, even on the safer side, is just double the caloric value for everyone, because then you'll have extra. Then if you think you have 1 month food supply, you may end up having a month and a half. You may get lucky and have 2 months. But the ability to replenish that food storage, food supply, emergency fund is very important. So think now, prepare now. What am I doing right now? Well, today I harvested some of this corn. It was ready to harvest. And I'm, harvesting things as I go. And I was replanting as I go. I'm not replanting anymore because it's, middle of August. But I'm already making plans, drawing out things, gathering supplies to work on my production capability during the winter, during the off season. Just like professional athletes, sports guys, they train in the off season because you got to be ready for next season. Same thing. So think ahead, plan out your garden spaces, plan out, where your raised beds are going to be, where your in-ground is going to be, start conditioning the soil, make sure it's well composted, throw a bunch of organic material in it to better the soil, to make it more effective for next season. Preppers, we are proactive, not reactive. We got to think ahead. So this is what we do in the off season. And like I've said before in videos, in the middle of winter, if your garden area is covered in 4 feet of snow, well, you know what? Fitness is key. Grab that snow shovel out there, dig out the spot, and build another raised bed. You can do it, even if it is snowing out. You can still get down to the ground. You can still lay out a proper raised bed. You can still build it. You can still fill it with topsoil, or maybe not. Maybe you can't get topsoil because the places are covered in snow also, but you can at least build it. Have it ready to go for when you can throw some soil in there and then work it. Think ahead, plan ahead. Start gathering seeds. Seeds is always a good thing for next season. Collect the seeds from your garden this year, now. Plants learn. They learn the soil, they learn the atmosphere, the area, what it's like, the temperature range, all these kind of things. So they become more productive year after year. If you go down to the feed store, buy some seeds, throw in the soil, yeah, they'll grow, they'll produce. But if you save those seeds and use them next year, it will produce better. And the year after that, even better. So, it'll get to a point where it levels off. Of course, it doesn't keep on getting better. But do these things. Collect your own seeds. Put them in your food storage or your preps. That's a good way to do it. Store your stuff properly. Make sure that your backup fund, your emergency fund, is always going to be there. Rotate through it. Stuff like that. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing the things. I hope you guys are preparing a little every day. It's very, very important. I care about you guys, and I want you guys to have that peace of mind of being prepared, no matter how small it is, even if it's only a couple weeks of food or years of food. Wherever you're at in your journey, all you can do is move forward, better yourself, stay positive, Have a wonderful day. I love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.